on YouTube, hello on Twitch. Welcome to another episode of my Hard Sign 4 multi-part Let's Play series. I'm here with Joe. Say hi if you want.
Hello.
Joe was just asking, I thought this was an interesting question worth repeating, why... sorry, Echo. There, why ships don't hit mines like allied ships. And I was explaining that the way this worked in real life, and presumably the way it works in the game, is you give your allies maps of minefields so they know there's usually safe lanes to move through a minefield, but they're not straight shots. They're like, you have to turn at this, position and turn at that position and, relative to this or that landmark or longitude, latitude with you're going to go very slowly and carefully. And sometimes ships did mess up and leave the path and get hit by a naval mine. But, enemies don't have the map of the minefield, so that if they try and go through, they're just likely to hit a mine.
Yeah.
That's how it worked in real life. I was then going a tangent, like, you create exclusion zones for neutral nations you don't trust with these maps, like saying, oh, there's mines in this general area, stay out. We don't want you here. Especially that's part of why the territorial waters laws exist partly, is these are areas you can legally lay mines and nobody gets to say, oh, you can't do this because this is like right against your shore. And then you get nonsense like the U.S. is an excuse to invade Cuba during the Spanish-American War. What led to. I'm not sure if this is before those laws on territorial waters existed, maybe as a reaction to this, but a U.S. cruiser was sailing right off the Cuban coast and it claimed to hit a naval mine, and we used that as a justification to go to war with Cuba, except they have every right to lay mines right off their coast. That's a protection against invasion. It's our own fault if we hit a naval mine right off their coast. Of course, we didn't actually hit a naval mine. Investigations revealed that the ship had a boiler explosion. And opportunistic politicians said, okay, let's invade Cuba because we've been eyeing Cuba and we wanted to steal it from the Spanish. It was a Spanish colony. And then we, quote, liberated it, but we didn't really liberate it. We ran it as a U.S. puppet state ruled by the mafia and stuff. Excuse me, and for a while. And then we gave it full independence after World War II, like real full independence. And then they proceeded to elect a left-wing president, and Batista did not like, he ran against this left-wing guy, and he lost elections, or he was losing. The election didn't happen, but the polls showed he was going to lose the elections in Cuba. So rather than wait to the elections and lose them, Batista carried out a military coup and established himself as a tin pot dictator that acted as a U.S. puppet ruler, because the CIA had probably helped this, or at least the U.S. immediately took advantage of this. And Batista was U.S. puppet ruler until the Cuban Revolution and Fidel Castro. People don't know any of this history. They don't know the nonsense with the naval mine. They don't know the nonsense in the Spanish-American War. And heck, it's there's references to it all around you. Like if you know the U.S. Army anthem, I was an ROTC, so once upon a time, so I know like one of the lines is San Juan Hill, something, 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 something. I forget it's been too long. Pens, tanks, there's reference to different places the U.S. Army was, but San Juan Hill is a reference to Theodore Roosevelt and the Rough Riders who invaded Cuba, after this naval mine incident. Now, there were tensions, and one of the things is there was revolutionaries who were fighting the Spanish for independence, and the Spanish proceeded to establish the world's first concentration camps. Reconcentration camps. They weren't like death camps, but they took civilians from villages that had been supporting guerrillas and they put them all in camps and people died. And this upset the U.S. media, and then the U.S. media used this atrocity porn essentially as an excuse to drum up to get the American public behind invading Cuba. And then the naval mine incident was the actual excuse that was used as a casus belli, but it wasn't actually a naval mine. As I said, investigations revealed that the ship's boiler just exploded. A U.S. cruiser. They overloaded the boiler, maybe on purpose. And the cruiser exploded, and then we blamed on naval mines and invaded. We, America, because I'm American. Joe was American, so Anyways, enough history lesson. I just thought that was interesting. I had to mention it. I'm a history buff. This is a game that touches on history, or alt history. This is a really weird alt history world where history diverged hundreds of years before World War II, but whatever. Are you, looks like you got your Navy all sorted out and you're just looking around the map randomly. So. And you got your Air Force ready, right? You picked out 600 aircraft to go to Syria?
Yep.
Probably need 200 TAC because the Damascus Air Base isn't very close to the Middle East. So you probably need a couple hundred TAC. You can probably use dive bombers in the Levant.
TAC?
Tactical bombers. Because they have longer range. Eventually you can produce, the AI didn't design anything, but you can produce CAS with a bunch of extra fuel tanks that have the same range and are actually more cost-effective, harder to shoot down relative to their cost than the tactical bombers.
But send over 400 CAS then?
No, I'd probably send 200 tactical bombers because the CAS won't have the range to cover the northeast part of Syria, basically the Deir ez-Zor, which is in the Middle Eastern air zone. It shares an air zone with all of Iraq. So they'll have terrible mission efficiency and they won't actually do anything. So you need probably 200 tactical bombers. You can use dive bombers in Western Syria. They use less fuel, they're harder to shoot down, etc. And 200 fighters for escort duty and generalized air superiority. And that's all there's room for in the airbase. It only has capacity of 600. So, but, you know, you can position them now, and you can also position some aircraft in the Jutland Peninsula. Region Protector of Denmark actually has a... That's actually smart.
Tactical bombers and 400 fighters, was it?
Yeah, 200 tactical bombers, 200 dive CAS, and 200 fighters. 222.
CAS. Okay, I see.
Yes, because the CAS have shorter range. But if you can use CAS instead of TAC, you probably should. But the TAC are the only things that have the range for the eastern part of the air zone. And then each air zone can get 100 fighters and air superiority to act as escorts, basically. They'll, you know, be outnumbered by bombers 2-1, but it at least still distracts some of the enemy aircraft if there are any, which there might not be many. And the air detection will be garbage anyways. What?
I think I need to make more tactical bombers. Are they reinforcing?
No, you're probably just out. You can check your stockpile screen. Logistics. These numbers won't update till I am paused, but if you click on somewhere here should be, that's CAS. If you somewhere there should be tactical bomber listed. You might have to scroll up or down.
Have any.
Yeah, you might not. That might have been why you had some queued up before, but I'm like, I would just leave it be for now. You're not going to produce them quick enough to matter. And
can I consolidate my? Can I consolidate my?
I would just use these two smaller air wings in the Middle Eastern air zone to provide a little bit of extra oomph for defending Deir ez-Zor. What I might do though is train them up to regular before you send them, because there's sandstorms in the Middle East, and if you do if you do exercises while they're in Damascus, they'll be a lot more likely to have accidents because there's sandstorms there. So I would just train to regular first, but I'd split them into a Syrian air group like you did.
Okay.
You can split if you want to make it easier to find stuff. You can create separate air groups for the CAS, the fighters, and the TAC. The little purple icon is the air group. The theater is all 600 of the aircraft, so you can, this would just make it easier. So then, you know, the purple is this, blue is this. You can color code it, you can name it wherever. It's an organizational tool. I don't know. I've become a stickler for organization because long COVID, my brain does not process large amounts of information that's poor organized very well. It doesn't process large amounts of information well, period. It's actually creating some major issues with government agencies. They're constantly trying to bombard me with bureaucratic requirements and nonsense to make my life hard because you're disabled. And instead of making life easy, it's a million pieces of paperwork. Disability and other stuff. They're just the U.S. the bureaucracy is essentially an excuse to deny people the resources they need. It's austerity, it's capitalism, it's terrible. You're watching Twitch video on demand. I keep getting lurkers to pop and leave. One of them stayed for like 2 minutes, said nothing left. You may have discovered that I've set it so you can't chat until you've been a follower for 10 minutes. Let's set this to 2. I'm fine with people chatting if they've been a follower for 2 minutes, but I don't want bots coming and chatting 16 seconds after they arrive in the channel. No, thank you. If I get bots anyways, maybe I'll up that to 5 or 10. Anyways, oh god, my brain is... Do you think you can remove those join war requests? You can just deny them. You right-click them on the top of your screen. Call to arms. I would just no to all. Yeah, you can just ignore the insufficient resources, low manpower, raids, if you're not planning on doing the raids. That's saying you could technically do a facility strike on a neutral country, which would probably be a declaration, an act of war. In Berlin.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the manpower, you need to raise the conscription law. You can just... I'm only suggesting this because while I'm looking at your screen, it's just more info for my brain to process. If you're... Yeah, and same with the national focus. You already know you're not running a focus. And you're producing some anti-tank, which apparently you don't have any anti-tank assigned to your divisions yet. But what? It's like one factor you're slowly producing before you need them, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that's just saying they don't currently have missions. And then there's the resource shortage thing, which the 2 resource shortage notices. One is saying insufficient. You're 2 tungsten, not a big deal. You can ignore that. That's like minus 50. It's not worth a sieve to import just 2 tungsten. And this is telling you you're not getting the full amount of oil. Well, how much is it saying you're getting shorted? By who?
1 by British Malaya.
Yeah, you might want to reduce that to 8. And who to import oil from?
Iran?
Iran's going to be a bit of a... Let's see. Yeah, you'll end up going past the coast of South Africa. Yeah, it's fine. Iran's a good choice, probably. Your convoys will... I assume they'll do that. They might go through the Med and go through the Suez. And go... Yeah, they'll go that way.
They did.
Yeah, I would probably set the Eastern Med to another yellow zone. And the Central as well. Just so stuff doesn't go through there unless it has to. Actually, I'd set the Aegean to red. Because if things are going to have to go, like, supply convoys to... That means that nothing except combat ships will go there. That way, yellow will prevent convoys that can avoid going through the Med from doing it. But the ones that go to Syria will have to go. And the red will ensure that if they do have to go through the Mediterranean, they won't go through the Aegean. Unless there's no other option for the combat ships. Which, fleets will never... pass through this region unless there's no other route. But yeah, it prevents trade routes from ever going through to the point where it'll just not supply. So you couldn't supply Athens if you did a naval invasion there right now. But since it's a thing to keep in mind for later. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, so you got the TAC, the training, you got most of your ships that weren't fully training, you've got your convoy escorts. I think we're all good to go. Army stuff. If you go to look at the Switzerland, because that's where most of your army is, that isn't currently training, waiting to go to Syria or wherever. We'll probably go there very soon. Yeah, I guess for a little while you can focus your attention on messing with Austria at this border, mostly defending. You'll suffer crippling losses, but if you want to throw away manpower equipment for a little bit of experience for your generals and your division leaders, you can go ahead, I guess. I wouldn't do it. I would just mostly sit and defend. Because what will happen, or join in attacks that are already happening. If someone's going to die anyways, but I wouldn't start new attacks. I might just reinforce existing battles here and there.
Yeah.
And then only for a little while, just to get your generals a little XP.
If I'm not involved in this battle, it's an attack, right?
Yeah, these guys are attacking. I'm saying you could throw more divisions in there.
Pretty bad attack to.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't help those. It looks like they're terribly outnumbered. They're attacking. The general rule of thumb is you don't attack unless you outnumber the enemy 2-1.
Yeah.
They're attacking they're attacking into mountains against a fortified force that outnumbers them 4-1.
Yeah.
With infantry against tanks. It's utter suicide. It's utter suicide. The general rule of thumb is on like flat terrain against an entrenched foe, 2-1. If it's like mountains, you want to outnumber them like 4-1. What?
Why do they have the other troops just sitting there instead of also fighting in the battle?
They're probably either reorganizing or planning, or they're trying to org cycle. Basically, the only way they're going to take that is they'll attack to those divisions de-org, but before the battle's fully over, they'll reinforce in other divisions, or they'll start a new battle right after these guys get de-orged. And they'll just keep doing it so the defenders can't reorganize, but the attackers can. It works, but it throws away insane amounts of manpower for just a little bit of territorial gain. This is what I mean when I said org cycling on the offense. You can also do it on the defense, which is far more efficient. Far more efficient. When you're org cycling the defense, you're usually making the enemy pay, for every casualty you cause them 2 or 3. When you do it on the offense like this with inferior troops, you're probably suffering 20 casualties for every 1 you deal or something. It's much, much, much worse. But yeah, what the AI appears to be doing is trying to org cycle the Austrians. This is why in my single player game, when the Americans joined and were fighting along this exact front you're looking at, they suffered so many casualties that they had a communist uprising in California. Because the people were sick of being used as cannon fodder. They lost like millions of manpower. Millions of men got mowed down just trying to gain a few inches of soil, because this was like World War I style trench warfare. It'd be like if the U.S. had actually fought in World War I for more than a few months, or a year, or whatever it was. I think the U.S. joined the war earlier than that, but the actual combat troops were only there for like a few months at the very end. World War I massively destabilized the countries that threw millions of men into it. My single player in the U.S. was never very warlike until the post-World War II era, where the Republicans studied Nazi propaganda techniques and slowly started applying them to making the U.S. culture more militaristic. They studied propaganda techniques from around the world, but as the U.S. started building a global empire, the rich studied effective propaganda techniques, and one of the nations they learned from was the Nazis. It wasn't the only one. People overstate how much it was the Nazis, but it was lots of countries. They studied Soviet propaganda techniques too. Anyways, the U.S. had thrown millions of manpower into a front like this, they probably would have had a communist revolution. Communism was a lot more popular in the U.S. back then. Like, Socialist Party, which is, democratic socialist. But it's still Marxist mostly, who just were willing to work their electoral means. Got like 1 million votes, I think 1908 or something. They would have had a resurgence if the U.S. was involved in years of trench warfare in World War II instead of, what actually happened.
Yeah.
Unlikely to happen in our game, but if we do get in a war with the U.S., that's probably our main victory tactic, is to just cause them so many losses that they possibly flip sides. The way that would happen is, if they got to widespread munis and they cracked down on it, there's a 1 in 4 chance that they would have a civil war if they crack down violently on the munis. And if they do have the civil war, usually there's a reasonable chance, depending on what happens, that the American AI will run democratic socialism and end the Civil War by merging the nations back together. But the one who will actually take charge is the revolutionaries in whatever state. I think it's usually California that breaks off if they have a communist uprising. And yeah, so the Californian communists take over leadership of the nation, and whatever faction they joined, the whole U.S. is now in, which is how the U.S. switched sides from North American Alliance to the Central Powers in my single-player game. This is a completely vanilla thing, by the way. Only happens with AI. If you're the player and you have a communist uprising, actually, when the event happens, I think you might have a choice of which side to play as. But if you stick with the main nation, and then the nation, you take a focus that causes nations to merge, it will always make sure that the tag that the player controls is the one that controls at the end. I'm pretty sure it will never like give you a game over because of a peaceful reunification event.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's AI, it will just, I don't know what logic it uses to decide who's in charge. I think it's usually the revolutionaries, though. If there's an ideology civil war, and then one of the sides flips ideology, so the same ideology, the civil war ends inconclusively. This could happen, for instance, if capitalist Norway flipped communist before this war was over, and they actually are slowly gaining communism support, but it would take till about 1952 for them to flip at the current rate of gain, so not going to happen unless you send spies to boost communism in Oslo or something. And why would we do that when we can just march in with troops? That would...
Yeah.
What it would do is it would cause the two nations to merge, and probably the capitalist Norway tide that just flipped communist would actually, because the way it's processed this is they're the breakaway nation, not the NPR, which means they would be the ones that would take charge and their focus tree be used, which means they would have the vote of no confidence Liberal Conservative Alliance, means they wouldn't have access to any of the communist OLI focuses.
Oh, weird.
They would get the consolidate power denounce Burgundy path, though, which is shared between NPR, because that's a shared authoritarian. You can do it on many different paths. You can do it with the anti-communism national spirit, or you can do it if you flip communist, and this allows them to invade Denmark and Sweden and build some factories, get some manpower, gain some more support. But yeah, anyways, enough talk. You ready to I guess stuff will start happening as soon as I unpause, and I can't pause it very quick. Alright.
I think so.
Pause. Oh, that's the wrong button. Unpaused. Are your fleets going where you expect them and stuff? You don't have any fleets moving across the world, do you? Here, I'll pause it real quick.
I don't think so. Let me just, where's
yeah, it's good
Copenhagen?
to...
Oh, there it is.
After I'm pausing to check once to make sure you don't have the stuff happening you didn't expect. Oh yeah, they've accepted. So yeah, you can set them on naval exercises based of Copenhagen now. The guys there.
There we go. Now they can actually exercise in the Danish belts.
Yep. I would just exercise until not forever. That's the forever version they're doing. I would exercise the shift right click exercises.
Oh,
I noticed.
I have the wrong one.
Yeah, you have the one where they'll keep doing it forever. And then once they're... Because you don't want to waste oil, do it forever. It'll give you more naval XP, sure, but you probably don't want to spend the oil with how short on oil. Also, you might need to import more oil than you're importing from Iran. Let's see. If you hover over the oil thing. No, the fuel, actually. Daily gain 6.2. Yeah, you need to roughly double your oil imports. Or your total oil gain, which means you need to import around 90 more oil. Oof.
I don't love that.
All right. 12
That's
factories.
like all my factories.
Yep. Yes, it is.
Do I do that?
You can wait to 0100 on October 3rd, so you don't pay the full factory for oils per hour, and factories are per day. but I would do it right when the day ticks over. Construction queue, by the way, you just look at it, because I just realized you're going to lose a line with how much oil you need to import. Shoot. Yeah, I would put Aleppo before Lancashire. The infrastructure there, and then the dockyard right after it, because you're only going to have one line with how much oil you need to import. I should have realized that. Are you teching any oil refining techs?
No.
Nope. Yeah, you should be able to get fuel refining 3 and 4 before long. Maybe it might even be worth doing ahead of time. Although I would save up 30 days before, or close to 30 days before you start that ahead of time. Yeah, after 1940 Destroyer, or no, after Engineer Company 2, you might want to grab fuel refining 3, because you're going to be importing a ton of fuel to fuel the British Navy, essentially. It's huge. It's an enormous Navy. Realistic. Your fuel consumption should go down once your strike forces pull into the port of Aleppo. I think they're still on their way there right now.
Oh my god, why are they all exercising? That's not right at all.
Oh yeah, that increases their fuel consumption more than anything else. Exercises consume, I think, extra fuel even compared to normal missions.
Strike force. How did that happen?
Probably hit a key wrong or something.
Yeah.
Like accidentally hit the hotkey.
Yeah.
Where are they going to, though? Like, I'd probably just force them to all go to the port of Aleppo. They end up in random places again.
There we go. Get in
the
port.
Cool. And where are the guys who are exercising doing it? Remember that trick to see what sea zones are assigned? You
exercising in the Eastern Med.
Well, no, that may be where they may have multiple regions assigned. The reason why it matters is because they might randomly move around. If
Oh, yeah.
Central and Aegean, yeah, you probably want to take them off that. Oh, that also removes the strike forces, doesn't it?
What?
That's fine for now. Alright, well, I just put the strike forces back in all 3 then. Actually. Yeah, because the whole fleet has to have the same sea zones assigned, it looks like.
That's really stupid.
It is. Are the strike forces still on their way to Aleppo, though? All this missing with the missions might have changed it.
Looks like it.
Yep, okay. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna stop watching this to save bandwidth. Good thing I did a quick check for weird things happening after I'm pausing. But yeah, I'll pause it right at 0100 October 3rd, and then you can start importing more oil.
Agent injured.
Oh
What?
gosh, this is my horrendous luck. Like, I'm sorry, my bad luck is contagious. Well, at least she's not dead. Oh, finished? This is
they
finished. So she got injured. She completed the mission successfully. If you click on that, on the finished thing, the circle, it'll tell you the outcome. Oh, you got the bonus outcome. You got extra political power. She got injured, but you did successfully complete the mission.
Sweet.
The submarine waited the agreed upon extraction. The crew reported increasing activity in the shore during that period. So, yeah, she got caught in the way of the submarine extraction. She got in gunfight, and she made it away alive, but she probably got shot in the shoulder or something, you know? So, that spy is out of commission for a while. If you hover over the thing at the bottom of the screen, it'll tell you how long.
90 days.
Yep. But you got the political power, and that's what you were after, I think, right? You also have an unassigned spy. This one.
Yep. What should I do with her?
Didn't you just... Or do you have any intel network strength anywhere? Maybe in Romania you have some residual?
Yeah, I think so. And I think I had them in Vienna.
I don't see any of the map bluish coloration that would indicate you have any residual intel network in Romania. It looks like your network decayed to 0. Hmm.
Probably.
Right. The Austrians might have... So there's a couple of choices here. There's 3 good ones. You can spy on the Austrians to... Well, no, the intel network won't reach to the combat area anyways. What am I saying? I was going to say it will reduce their entrenchment and stuff. I wouldn't spy in Venice or it'll hurt your co-belligerents. Sort of. Not quite allies. You could spy in Turkey. Down here, this will reduce their planning, since we're gonna end up at war with them very soon. You could build a network strength in Maltea there, and if you want, when that agent is no longer injured, you might infiltrate their civilian administration for some political power eventually. Although, actually, if we push there, well, whatever. Maltea is the one on the border. So I would do it because that will reduce their max planning if they try and attack. So their army, we'll know their battle plans, so their battle plans will be less effective, basically. Yeah, so I would just do that for now. But yeah, you can hit close and gone. Yeah, you probably can't afford the political power to become the spy master right now, or any agency upgrades. Suicide pills at least makes your spies a little less likely to be detected. Although, if they are detected, they're more likely to die. And Army Department, that's kind of useless unless you want to know how... I guess you do get some generalized intel on how many divisions the enemy have and stuff if you have an infiltrated asset. You might try infiltrating some armies later for the Army XP. So I don't think you have your Doctrines anywhere near maxed. I wouldn't do any of this right now because we need the factories for naval bases and infrastructure. Supplies win and lose wars. But if you go over to your Army Doctrines page, it'll be under Officer Warfare. There we go. Oh, you've got nothing but trench warfare. You definitely want to get the second Doctrine fairly quick. That gives command power income and max planning.
Oh.
The command power income will help you hire more admirals, which you might actually need. In fact... How many generals do you have? Just exit out of the... Like, if you just click the generals page, they're above officers. Trying to see if you got... Yeah, you got plenty of surplus generals. You want to roll for an admiral now, or you want to wait till later?
Is there a reason to wait till later?
If you wanted to use the command power to promote general to field marshal, or assign assignable traits to someone. Wait, you have a guy who's not doing anything. August Willis. Wasn't he in charge of a fleet before? What happened?
This guy?
I thought he was... Yeah, he's not assigned to a fleet. I thought he was doing your patrols.
He was doing patrols too.
Oh. Yeah. I'd relieve Cunningham and put him in charge.
Oh, yeah? Oh, the
maybe not right now, actually. 2-week cooldown since he was just removed from a command. But I might switch him later.
Okay.
So is there a reason to wait if you have other things in mind for the command power, or if you want to change Navy Doctrines, like try for a combo warfare guy right now? I probably wouldn't bother right this second. So yeah, I'd probably just hire... You might even get a level 2 who rolls the calculator restraint. Anyways, this give you... Yep. See if you get anything good. Fingers crossed you. Naval lineage. Actually, that's not terrible for some situations. For big decisive battles. Generally, I don't love that trait, but some people adore it. Reduced retreat decision chance means ships are also less likely to run away if they're damaged, but if you're going for an all-out battle, it's not terrible. Not good, not bad. It just is. I don't know. It's not what you needed for the mine laying force, though. Mine layers are, if they get caught by something, they're going to be outnumbered.
Yeah.
Oh, now that you got that that political power, yeah, you could probably do trade union support for new factories for the stability, mainly. Although, I would quickly check what's next in your production queue before you add another factory, to make sure that that new factory goes to what's most important. No, the wrench, the military factory, not the construction. Okay, so it'll go into rifles. Is that what you want the factory to do? Rifles?
Yeah, well, actually, I guess it wouldn't be too bad to start production on planes, huh? Spitfires, maybe? Or should I just build more rifles?
The thing I was going to suggest is maybe you want trucks over rifles. Yeah.
Yeah. I do need more trucks.
Because you have some motorized divisions in training that aren't fully equipped, right?
Yeah. I think so. Oh. No, they are. Although
No,
I am kind of bottlenecked on the trucks. Oh wait, no, they're not fully equipped. Just barely.
I think you pre-deployed some, is what I'm referring to. Not the guys in the training queue.
Oh.
I think some green guys, or maybe they're trained. They should be somewhere. One of the armies. That's why I named ours. Army number 4. These guys. I don't think they're actually... Yeah, they're green, and I don't think they're fully equipped. They're on their way, I think, to Switzerland?
Oh, yeah. They need trucks.
Yeah, so that plus the one in the training queue that doesn't have full trucks yet. Where are they assigned to? They looks like they're automatically going somewhere, which means they must have... I think we give them a fallback line somewhere in Switzerland.
Is there a way to see that easily?
The easiest way is to go over to Switzerland, probably, and look for that reddish-orangish color. Oh, they're going to Mulhausen. Do you see the fallback line over Mulhouse?
Oh, yeah,
That's where they're going.
It is.
Yeah. So they'll go to Mulhouse, and they'll probably finish their training there, and then go into Switzerland. And that's also an area that gets cold in the winter, so they might gain some winter acclimatization. Yeah, I'd probably put the factory into trucks over rifles. Just because, offense, we can afford to be more offensively minded. If you were a tiny nation, I would say the rifles. But, yeah, I would take trade union support for new factories, though, for the stability. You don't want to roll, like, strikes or something.
Equipment production for tactical bombers.
Yep. I mean, I just write quite that. Eventually, you'll probably just phase out all tactical bombers. Like, eventually merge those 2 tactical bomber wings together when there's less than 100 planes total, and then someday disband it when you only have, like, 10 tactical bombers or something. I don't know. Get all the pilots and casts instead. Tacker... At this point, technology is allowing phasing out tactical bombers. They're good, like, in 38 if you're attacking someone and you need the range. But once you get 1940 airframes, you can usually get the range you need with improved, smaller frames instead. Yeah, I'd take the factory for the stability, mainly. Keep in mind, this is going to increase the cost of your next war propaganda to, I think, 65. What is that, 55?
Yeah.
Yeah, all decisions will go up, but... Yeah, it's better than the other things. I would do it because you need the stability, and the stability increases your political power gain. So 20% stability, yay! You really need to get over 35%. That should be a goal. All right. Well, anyways, so you rolled an admiral, got a garbage bag admiral, not very good, and got trade union support for new military factory. Cool and cool. I'm gonna unpause it again. You good?
Yeah.
Alright, because I already feel another headache coming on, so if we don't get stuff done, I'll just hit a wall. There's too much information overload in my pitiful long COVID brain. It just doesn't want to process so many things going on at once is the problem. So...
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a bit much for you. This is why I keep pushing Age of Wonders, because it's simple. It's like train swordsmen, put swordsmen on front line. I mean, yes, there's flanking and stuff, but it's nowhere near the complexity of Hearts of Iron. This is like I had a Twitch viewer who came by one time and he was like, "Gosh, you need a PhD to play this game." I'm like, "Yeah, it's complicated. It is." And other people like, "Are you good at the game?" And I have seen this before. There's people who look for Twitch streams and they're trying to recruit for their multiplayer games, but it's always sweaty, historical multiplayer, and they always want you to play as the Axis. It's like, no thanks. I'm not gonna play with the randos or probably mouth-breathing fascists and want me to play as like Hungary, or they want me to play as the Soviets because they know I play a lot of communist nations. Some of them have probably noticed that. And they want me to play as the Soviets to give them a challenge. What?
Purchase request from Iraq.
Oh.
Iraq wants 6 convoys.
Sure, you got convoys to spare. The only thing you do, I think you're running out of nearly everything else, but convoys you got. Yeah, I would accept. Oh, you put some trucks up for sale? Is that right? I'd cancel that. Maybe the AI did that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd cancel that.
Take those.
1 carrier naval bomber. Yeah, I'd cancel that too. I don't know why that's even up. And then some basic rifles. And trains. Which, sure.
Yeah.
You got tons of... Oh, no, 170... I'd cancel the trains at this point. You might actually need those eventually. But convoys, and if people want to buy basic rifles...
Hey, my fuel's regaining.
Slowly, yeah. Oh, your fleet's pulled in the port, and now your fuel consumption went down to a measly 3k. That's actually still a ton of fuel consumption. Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna unpause it again for a little bit. After a little bit, so you're not like buying fuel, unbuying fuel, buying fuel, unbuying fuel. After a little bit, maybe you can decrease. How many factories? I would try and get to 15 factories on your construction line. The one that's doing
exactly 15 factories there.
Cool. I'm about to finish my infrastructure level there. 5271. I'm curious to see if these are stacking with each other. Because I only have 2 factories. No, it's... My line is just building 1. It looks like you're building 1 infrastructure and I'm building 1. I thought they would synergize. Like, it would give you... It would take 13 of your factories and have them work alongside mine, too. 2. It's a measly number. So you got exactly 15 on construction now?
Yep. Oh no, 15 and it's 17 again. Huh.
Oh.
I wonder where they went and came back. 13 now. Where are these factories coming from?
Trade. People are either buying your resources or you were buying weapons or something and you finished the deal. There's various things that could have happened. Or the higher stability meant less consumer goods. That's another thing. Yeah, I drag the Lancashire infrastructure up so you don't start on the naval thing until the infrastructure is done. Especially I'm about to finish a level of infrastructure there too. Yeah, I'd reduce oil imports a little bit.
Reduce?
Yeah, reduce. No reason to buy more than you actually need. Yeah, I mean, take your pick of who you want to buy less oil from.
The East Indies?
We can flip them communists fairly easily. Iran is a bit of a risk because Iraq could end up occupying them, or they could end up joining the enemy faction.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can cut Iran.
I'd probably maybe reduce the Venezuelan one too. Because we can't flip them communists without the U.S. potentially invading them. Or if we try and do it by coup, because it's quicker than waiting for spies and enough support, then the U.S. could send volunteers. Though I think I checked in the single player game, they ended up taking when the U.S. gets, I forget what it is, there's some focus or thing that eventually they get a choice between sending volunteers to fight fascist countries or communist countries. For a player, it just gives you a national spirit that increases like your volunteer cap. And they're basically identical, but for the AI, it determines which ones they tend to send. And they chose the fight communism, so they will tend to send, if it happens the same way, and it might not, because it's not pre-programmed, I think but it's very likely, it depends on the strategic situation, but if the US decides to send volunteers and lend-lease to countries fighting communist countries, then, we could have problems if we start trying to use coups to quickly flip nations communist via spies. The other way to do it is to take a country that's like at 45% communism support, stick a spy there until it reaches 60, and it'll flip pretty quick on its own without a war. Usually without a war. One time that I did see a nation, I don't even think one time I did influence a nation a little bit, I think it was, and they ended up having a civil war, but the AI usually chooses to just flip without the war. Alright. Well. We'll need a lot more spies to that, which means we'll need a bigger faction and a spy master, pretty much. Anyways, on pause. I think NPR also gets extra operatives, something. Maybe not. Denmark does. Oh, I can hire a new general if I want. In Norway, I actually need the guys. Yeah, I'm gonna pre-deploy this division. Promote this guy. They all look the same. Stupid. Trickster. So if I get the guerrilla warfare, ability to roll that tactic. Otherwise useless. This unyielding defender. What's he up to? I don't know. Just give me a sec, Joe. I'm trying to figure out what to do with my Turkish border. Who's gonna lead the army there?
Okay.
Probably the guy who gives the most entrenchment. And then which general? Oh, just occurred to me, you should be able to support my divisions that are fighting in Antakya with shore bombardment when the time comes. By just anchoring some capital ships off the coast. Like, all they have to do is poke out one province from the Aleppo naval base. So I could take a naval liaison guy. You wouldn't need as many capital ships to give the shore bombardment bonuses that way. It's probably not worth it. Probably better just to have you use more ships. Yeah, let's just train this guy up. And when he fights, when he gets skill advantage, unyielding defenders more likely to roll counterattack, but you need to have skill advantage to roll it. Oh yeah, tactics, and I'm talking partly for YouTube, but Joe, if you're listening, you should be able to benefit from this, right?
Yes.
So there are different conditions for rolling different tactics. Oh, I can't actually roll guerrilla warfare under this tree. For instance, guerrilla tactics, It doesn't show it here. I guess it's not available in my tree. But guerrilla tactics requires either a skill advantage or a trickster. Counterattack requires a skill advantage. It's more likely with an unyielding defender, but it still requires a skill advantage. Elastic defense requires at least 3 skill or defensive doctrine. You know, there's a lot of thought that went into the general's trait system. There's even stuff I didn't expect, like people with medium personality are more likely to roll attack and defense skill when they level up. People with cautious, I think it's defense and planning, or maybe it's defense and logistics. Their role, I think it's defense and planning. Because career officers are defense and logistics. So, like all these traits, they have various effects that you might not intuit right onto, like trickster interacting with which tactics they can roll, or defensive doctrine allowing elastic defense at levels 1 and 2, or media personality increasing the chance of attack and defense instead of planning and logistics. So yeah, there's a lot of like intricacies that go into that stuff. It's just a minor side note, but I thought I'd point it out.
Yeah. Is there a way to see all the tactics? Wiki?
What?
Is there a way to see all of the tactics in the game?
The wiki?
Okay.
You can go to Officer Corps preferred tactics, but it won't show ones that you can't get under your tree. Like I'm running Grand Battle Plan in Syria because I figured I would need to dig in a lot of troops in the Turkish border when I first started this run as originally single player, and the command power would allow me to hire more generals because I started with literally 0 generals as Syria. So I knew I was going to have to recruit a lot of generals and pick the ones with the best personality traits. I was hoping, to get lots of inflexible offenders and brilliant strategists, and I've actually gotten 4 inflexible defenders. I didn't even run theater training. I just got those by chance, which is exceptionally good luck. I haven't gotten a single brilliant strategist yet, though. And like cautious, reckless, career officer, these all affect what they roll when they level up. So, there are certain personalities that are best for your situation, and others that are less helpful. But yeah, anyways, yeah, you're running Grand Battle Plan as well, I think, right? You have Trench Warfare, I have Grand Battle Plan and Prepared Defense. I'm a little further into the Doctrine, because I've been fighting in Norway, I think. No, I hadn't been fighting in Norway yet. This save is right before. I think I just must have hired my Chief of the Army sooner than AI did.
I have a Chief of the Army yet.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, I've been...
Yeah.
It's one of the first things I did when I started this thing in Syria, obviously. It's a very high priority to get those Army Doctrines. You're always starved for Army XP until really late game. I don't know what the Norwegian People's Republic has, what I'll be locked into when I switch to playing as them eventually, because I'm not going to play Syria forever if we're doing this. I don't think they have a doctrine. Really? Yeah, they don't have a land doctrine yet.
Oh.
Yeah, they might be well off with mass assault. Unless you really want to roll really aggressively over a lot of territory, and then we could do mobile warfare. But I would need you to lend lease me tanks as the NPR, because there's no way I could produce enough tanks with Norway's industry when I flip to them. But yeah. Mass assault works. It also has insane reinforce rates. They kept tweaking the trees, and they gave mass assault a niche. Right-sided mass mobilization gets, I think it's like 25% reinforce rate by the time they finish their tree, plus a 5% recruitable population. It's very good. Whereas the left side deep battle gets a lot of supply consumption reductions and still some reinforce rate. And very good tactics. Yeah, every army doctrine has a niche, and this is before they had the sub-doctrines, which we don't get to play with because that came in no compromise, no surrender, and I started this run before.
Doctrines?
Sub-doctrines, yes. Yes, there's a whole system of sub-doctrines and mastery that comes with no compromise, no surrender. And because the coal resource was very poorly balanced when no compromise, no surrender first came out, I went, and I don't like having saves become invalidated by updates or not being able to play with hot fixes that fix new introduced bugs. I went with the oldest Graveyard of Empires version that I could find. Now that there was actually another hotfix to it that was released after, but it wasn't available as a beta at first. Now it is, but we're still actually running the second newest Graveyard of Empires patch. There's a couple bug fixes for Afghanistan that we can't use. I'm pretty sure if I update, it'll break the saves. This is like 1.16.09, and there's actually a 1.16.010 or something. That it's a couple minor fixes to Afghanistan, which it would be nice, but whatever. That Afghan AI might not run certain focuses that should because of scripting errors. There was minor issues with their scripting being wrong or something, and one of their national spirits doesn't work correctly. So, anyways, so yeah, hired a general, and yeah, they generally just a trickster. Probably need to switch off inventive leadership to meticulous prep soon. But it's actually good that we got this time before a lot of warfare. I've explained many times before how the academy spirits work and how you can run people through the academy spirits when they level up, right, Joe?
Yeah. Like meticulous preparation?
Yeah. Where they have an extra chance to gain extra skill levels when they level up. I like meticulous prep because you can get 2, and then you select the generals, because they're going to get 3 if they level up every time, and then if you select a general who rolled a lot of attack and defense, and then they got a bunch of the extra meticulous prep, they'll have high across the board skills. This is a way to get like the level 7 general who's got 9s and everything or something. If you're a little more pragmatic and you're not likely to get a level 7 general, you might actually focus on like wanting someone who rolls planning and then take meticulous prep and try and get to very high planning levels and logistics levels, because both planning and logistics have increasing returns instead of diminishing returns, like attack and defense tend to have, because planning gives both max planning and planning speed. That's very important, because that means if you're just, let's say you're only 10% of the time you can have your division stop, rest, and replan. At higher planning skill, they're going to acquire more planning during those rest periods, and they had more to begin with. So the average rate of decay of their planning is going to be less, and it's going to start at a bigger number, so it's exponentially better. Logistics, similarly, it's a lot better to reduce supply consumption by 40% than it is by 20% kind of thing. So, yeah.
Makes
meticulous prep really synergizes with career officers and politically connected, actually, also, because they both tend to roll planning and logistics. That's what it was, not defense. Inflexible strategists roll defense and logistics. Brilliant strategists attack and planning. I don't remember what cautious and reckless effect. I know they give certain things. I know media personalities attack defense. So I actually want to avoid media personalities if I'm trying to get someone who's really effective at like level 4. But if I want someone who's really effective at level 7 or 8, I would want a media personality while running meticulous prep. So, yeah, because you can't get above 9 skill on something. So, if you're trying to get someone who's got across-the-board 9s, you need someone who rolls attack defense for their 3 skill points they gain each level, but then rolls the meticulous prep, so they also have high logistics and planning. If you took someone who's a career officer, they'd hit like 9s in logistics and planning by level 4, and then then you'd have to switch to a different academy spirit or just waste points. So
I see.
Yeah, different niches. But I can't afford to think so long term here. I just need to survive against Turkey. Heck, it's enough that I've got an unyielding defender who won't actually be able to counterattack unless the Turks attack with a level 1 general. Because the tiebreaker is recon if both generals have the same skill. I think he can still roll counterattack then, but you can't. You need. I think it's a skill or a recon advantage when tied with skill. I don't remember the exact. I'd have to double check. When you're in combat, you can see what possible tactics. It'll show a list and some of the modifiers for ones that are eligible. But I think it's all the ones that could be rolled that tells you the weights. I don't remember. Like, let's see. I probably can pull some divisions to this Norwegian border very soon. Let's do it now because I haven't seen any attacks happen for a bit. And put them up north so they can reinforce. There is one fight going on there. Okay. When these guys arrive, maybe I'll do a very quick fight just so I can show people on YouTube what I'm talking about. And actually, if you want to, I can do a screen share for a second and show you what I'm talking about.
Oh my god, it happened again.
What did?
Why are they all naval exercising?
You either hit a hotkey or you like merged.